Hi, I'm Souki. Today's Makey Do is a simple Christmas wreath. So this Christmas wreath is a little bit of a cheat because I've already got the base, which I've painted white. Now I bought mine in a second-hand shop, it cost me a couple of pounds, but you can get them from places like Hobbycraft, IKEA do wreath bases, TK Maxx. Again, just look out for the bargains. If you don't like the colour when you buy it, paint it. White's a great starting point because it's a blank canvas and everything I'm going to do to this wreath is going to show up all the better for it. So I'm going to pop the wreath to one side and make the thing that's going to embellish it, which is essentially a garland. So to make a garland, the first thing you're going to need is some garden wire. DIY shops, buy a big roll, comes in really handy for all your makey do's. Snip off a length that'll just wrap round the wreath, so go for a little bit more, say about 1 metre, because you may need to keep sort of smartening the end up so you've got a nice sharp end to go through your decorative things. And then you want to just start threading on some dried fruit, so I'm using some dried oranges and some cinnamon sticks, some artificial rose petals and some skeleton leaves. The reason being they're all really decorative and pretty, and plus they're quite easy to thread on. So this is going to take a little bit of patience, but it's well worth doing. Use a bradawl and start making some holes in your rose petals, and I've made a little bit of a start just to speed things up. So start threading on your artificial rose petals. Use artificial ones because real ones won't last the distance, and after all, you know, Christmas is quite a long festive period, so you want your rose petals to kind of last. Also, some rose petals come scented, which is also really nice because again at Christmas time you want to sort of overload the senses with everything gorgeous and everything luxurious. So cinnamon sticks, they smell really, really Christmassy. Rose petals, really pretty. And dried oranges, you can't really say more about Christmas than dried oranges. So keep going and threading. And what I'm going to aim to do is stand here for a little while and thread this whole piece of wire with all my decorative pieces. Okay, when you're happy you've threaded on enough decorative bits, you're just going to tie the end. But a top tip here is just to spread things out a little bit. When you're threading on wire, it tends to get quite bunched. You want to just give it a little bit of natural movement. So use that excess piece of wire just to spread things out, and then tie yourself a loose knot just to hold everything at the end. After all that threading, you don't want it all to unravel. So that's the garland done. So back to our starting point, which was our wreath base. I want to introduce some lighting onto this wreath base because at night time, when it's on your door, it's going to look really pretty and festive. Now these are a great little cheat. It's a set of lights with their own battery pack, and even better still, it cost me £1 from the pound shop. So all you're going to do is lay it down on top of the wreath base, nice and roughly organised. There's no perfect way to do this. Pop them round and then decide where you want the back of it to be, and probably hide it with a bit of tape at the back. And don't worry if it looks a bit ugly, because it will all get covered up by our beautiful garland and a little bit of ribbon, but if you do it at the back you can't see it. So fasten the lights down with a little bit of sellotape. It's something that you're not going to see by the time the garland's wrapped round as well, but it just helps you, otherwise everything keeps falling off and you go around in one big circle chasing the lights. Then you can just arrange them a little bit more carefully so you've got the best twinkly bits sitting up. So the next step is just to lay the wreath on the garland, just position it and then get some garden wire. Again, snip it off, absolutely brilliant for this. Make a big U-shaped hat pin. I think I need it a bit longer actually, so be a bit more generous with your garden wire. Make a loop like a giant hat pin, and you want to catch a bit of the garland, a bit of the lighting and a bit of the wreath, and just push it through somewhere on the twiggy base. Don't worry if it looks a bit untidy at this stage, because you can tidy up any loose bits of wire at the back, twizzle them around and give them a snip. And push it on and you'll see that I catch both the ends underneath and twist them like that. Fold away the loose ends and do this right around the wreath, because what you want to do is secure the garland and the lights at the same time. So when you're happy everything's securely attached and you've tidied up all your loose ends, all you've got to do is pop a little bit of festive ribbon to the top, quick loop, tie a knot so as you can hang it up on a nail or whatever you want to use to secure it to your front door. And I hope you'll agree with me, it's a really quick and easy festive wreath. Thanks for watching, goodbye.